check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Sean, can I tell you something?
Uh-oh.
I hate being a numbers guy because I sit around and I watch all of these games that I have where I have a 50-50 chance to win at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you figure, okay, there's a couple games I'm 50-50 chance to win. I should come out of it 50-50. And you watch everyone melt down at the end, just one after the other. And you know the probability of each one melting down is like it borderlines on zero. And yet everyone melts down. And just understanding numbers and probability drives me absolutely insane because I feel like I said yesterday, sometimes the universe is lying up against you and just testing your patience, your will. And I'm, in one of those streaks that's just not going well right now. So I would fade the hell out of everything I say, college basketball wise. NBA was close, but then what the hell? What's up, Drew? How you doing today, my man? And then what the hell was that with the last quarter with Oklahoma City and Houston? I'm like, oh, this game's going to go under. They got to score 63 points for the game to go over. Houston had 40 by themselves.
Yeah, and what stinks about that is I said either Houston or the under, and I went with the under, and then Houston came back and won. So I picked the wrong one like you usually do when you have, two that you're debating. Houston won 4 in a row now coming back from that.
That's enough to drive me mad. But the one area that hopefully it doesn't bleed into is the NFL. NFL's been working for me, so I'm almost reluctant to say anything about the NFL right now because it's been working. But let's get started with some interesting line moves tonight, Sean, across the NBA and the NFL. So the first line that stands out to me is in the NBA is the Bulls and the Knicks game. The total started out at 215, and now it's dropped down to 209.5. Perhaps when you go through some of the injuries, we'll understand why that line movement is, or maybe, we talked about this yesterday, man, that line movement in the Oklahoma City game against Houston. We both said, man, these two teams have never gotten over that number, and that line moved up, and the money was backing it, and we're like, And then we have the Thunder again against the Grizzlies, but tonight it's going the other way. And I know you'll have some injury news regarding the Thunder, but that line opened up at 215.5, and it also dropped to 209.5. On the NFL front, the Cowboys opened up as a 5-point favorite. And it doesn't sound like much, but the line moved to 6.5, Sean. So that's 1.5 points on a line that opened up at 5. So that's almost like a 37% move. That's a big move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know that's probably, we'll talk a little bit about that as we get in that game, but there's a lot of guys coming back for the Cowboys. I don't know if that makes a difference tonight. Suns minus 11 tonight. Actually, that's something we're going to talk about in a minute, Drew. So what do you got for us in terms of injury, Sean, that could impact the games tonight?
So I got the biggest one is Devin Booker still questionable. I don't know if anything else came out. Last I saw, questionable with that hamstring. Another one, of course, Lillard's out. He's out a couple weeks now. Norman Powell's questionable. Same game, San Antonio, Doug McDermott, questionable knee. Toronto, Gary Trent Jr., questionable with a calf injury. And then the Bulls-Knicks game that you were talking about, Kobe White's out with an illness, and R.J. Barrett is questionable with an illness.
Well, I would say that, too, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just broke into the concussion protocol. So he's out for Oklahoma City tonight. He's like the only guy that can score for them.
Yeah,
that's probably why that line dropped from 215.5 to 209.5. That guy's, he's slick as hell with the ball, man.
Yeah, and that's a problem for Oklahoma City, big time. They're gonna have problems.
You're gonna have Dort. Good thing his last name is not Dork. He would have had a lot of problems growing up.
He's a guy, every now and then he'll get his shots falling and get 30 points, but other than that, it's brick after brick.
Yeah, but that man is just huge. That's like a dude, like if you're out and someone was talking crap, you're like, hey, I want you to beat my man over here. You know what I mean? Yep. You still got something to say? What do you say to my buddy over here? Everybody would be totally silent in a minute because that dude is thick. Let's talk about the smart money. The smart money was right on a couple of things yesterday, Sean. No question about it. Drew, you mentioned the Suns minus 11. 60% of the tickets are on the Pistons, but 76 cents on the dollar is on the Suns, Drew. So you're on the right side of the smart money. You must be the one that made that big bet then, Drew, and moved that number like that. Also in the NBA, the Bulls and the Knicks, 54% of the tickets are on the New York Knicks, but 79 cents out of a dollar is on the Chicago Bulls. In the Bucks in the Raptors, Sean, this one's going to impact me, I think, but not really. 65% of the tickets are on the over, but 57 cents out of the dollar is on the under. So a little bit of a swing right inside there. And then the Thunders and the Grizzlies, Sean, 51% of the money was on the tickets is on Memphis, but over 90% of the money is on Memphis. I mean, they're just loading up on the Grizz. So apparently losing a Ja is not as much as a Shea.
Yeah, because Memphis is a lot deeper than Oklahoma City is.
Yeah, for sure. Finally, in the NFL, Sean, this is one that is going to impact me, so I'm kind of foreshadowing where I'm going to go a little bit. But 51% of the tickets are on the over. So it's kind of split down the middle, 50-50. But 70 cents on the dollar is on the under. Do you think that's because, Sean, the change in quarterbacks?
It might be. I mean, the Saints are definitely going to run more, so that would favor the under.
No word on Kamara yet.
He's out.
No, I didn't see anything yet on him being out. Because he's practiced all week on a limited basis, and it sounded to me like they were expecting him to play tonight, but he may have been out. Listed.
Yeah, reportedly ruled out. So, I mean, reports say he's out.
The reports say he's out. All right. So, Drew, you got 2 NHL picks on us. Lay them on us, man, right away while Sean and I get ready to do the NFL here. Because the NHL, man, I've just totally avoided that. Man, that's like a COVID party, dude. I'm not there. That NHL. It's like COVID to my picks. That's for damn sure. Right, Sean? I mean, it's just been a killer.
Yeah. I'm staying away from hockey as well.
So let's talk about the Cowboys and the Saints. The Cowboys are reportedly getting healthy tonight. You're going to have Amari Cooper back. CeeDee Lamb's supposed to be back. At first, they thought maybe Zeke would be out, but Zeke will play tonight. Supposed to get a heavy load from Jerry Jones. We won't touch that. And then you're going to also have DeMarcus Lawrence back on the defensive side of the ball. On the other side of the field, the New Orleans Saints, they got I can't even remember the quarterback's name that's going to start tonight. Taysom Hill, yes. And that's about it on there. It's the only change for them poor guys with Kamara out.
Yeah, and they got a couple offensive tackle, Terran Armstead's out, and then a couple DMs, including Marcus Davenport. So Dallas has gotten healthier, and the Saints continue to be beat up.
I don't know if that makes a difference whatsoever at all, Sean, but 6.5 is the number. I think it's too high. Actually, I have the Saints in range of covering the points, Sean, but I'm not ready to pull the trigger because I don't like the double dip, as I mentioned before, and I do have some action on the other side of that.
Yeah, so I'm going to, FanDuel has a boost, and I know you say stay away from the boost, and I've been going back and forth. But
they know, Sean, they know. They got it inside. It's fixed.
Well, if they got insides, it's going to help your case, but I'm going to do it. Giving up 2.5 on Dallas plus 100. That means Dallas only got to win by a field goal. I kind of said last week I wouldn't fall down this Dallas trap again, but the Saints are just beat up. Dallas is getting healthy. They can't continue.
You just can't help yourself, can you? They just put it out in front of you.
I will point out, too, that this may not be the normal Thursday night game because both of these teams played last Thursday. So this is a regular week for them, essentially. So maybe we'll have a little bit more of a cleaner game.
Let's see. So Drew says he likes the Hurricanes minus 1.5, the Capitals 1.5. Hill anytime touchdown at plus 130. Taysom Hill, yeah, that could be. If he gets, probably have to be 1 yarder, right? Or that's got to be running touchdown, right? It can't be running or passing. I would imagine.
Well, it could be running or catching, which with them and him, he could catch it. So that's not a bad bet. If they're going to score a touchdown, he's going to be involved.
Yeah, especially with Kamara out. But well, anyway, now that sucks for my fantasy team. So I think that's not a bad play, Sean. The Cowboys usually do play well. I remember a few years ago, the Saints were undefeated, and the Cowboys went in there and beat them. And they just seem to match up well against Sean Payton teams for whatever reason that is. I do think the Cowboys win. I think that 2.5, they don't have that on DraftKings. But I did notice DraftKings does have a 100% boost on a in-game, same-game parlay in that game. So and you have to have at least 3 picks. So if I were going to pick the side of the game, I would pick the Saints, but very, very scarily, like limping into that one. But on the other side, you have the total at 46, Sean. That number to me, if the Cowboys are getting healthier on offense, they can score. There's no question about that. The Cowboys can score. I know New Orleans has a good defense, but they've been tired out, right? Because they've been constantly on the field lately. So tired defense usually, leads to a lot of offensive points. On the other side, the Cowboys defense isn't bad, but damn, they give up a ton of big plays. I can see New Orleans having 1 or 2 big plays that result in 14, 15, 14. I think New Orleans will probably score 20 points tonight, Sean. So if the Cowboys can get to 28, the game goes over. I'm going to go the over tonight, Sean. So that would be one of my 3 things in the parlay tonight for a 3-team parlay.
So it's what, over 46?
Over 46 for minus 110, Sean.
Yeah, that's another one. I've been going back and forth all day with the over and under, and I just couldn't land on a side. At first it was the under. The Saints are going to run the ball today. Dallas's offense hasn't been as crisp. But then you go the other way, and like you said, and then this has been, Dallas is getting healthy, so they probably will go up and down the field, and you'd have to expect the Saints score a little bit. Also, the change at quarterback, but you're going to get a lot more running, I would imagine, here.
I don't know, because the Cowboys are so susceptible to the pass, Sean, that there will be at least one big play tonight. The Diggs is a heck of he reminds me when I was a kid of a guy named Everson Walls who played for the Cowboys as a cornerback, always gambling. So he's either picking the ball off or getting burnt. That Diggs kid is just like that. He's either picking the ball off and he's scoring a touchdown, or the guy that they're throwing it to is scoring a touchdown. So throw it his way and they're going to score points one way or the other. Absolutely, for sure. So I would look in terms of fantasy tonight, Sean, looking at those numbers. I don't know. Can you pull up some quick numbers for me on that in terms of player props?
Yeah.
Tell you what kind of we like in there. So I have the Cowboys throwing for 300 yards tonight. So I don't know what Dak's number is, but if it's under 300, that would probably be one of my 3 same game parlays. Dak for around 300.
It's 284.5.
So yeah, I would say Dak over. So my 3. So I'm going to take the over. Dak over 300 yards, Sean, and then and this is 100% boost. So I should probably put it in as we're talking, but I don't got it in there. What are the running totals?
Running totals, running back.
What's Taysom Hill's passing yard total, Sean?
I just had that 218.5.
I'm telling you that Dallas Cowboys secondary is definitely questionable. I think he goes over that number, Sean. So that's gonna be my 3-team same game parlay. The game goes over and both quarterbacks go over their total, Sean.
Is this official, or is this just putting it out there?
I'm just putting that out there. That's the one
Okay.
I'm going to play because at 100% bonus, I should think about that. I don't know. Can you run that through DraftKings real quick and see what that comes out to be?
Yeah. I have some problems sometimes with their same game parlay. It's a little different than FanDuel, but I can put that through. So you're saying 300 yards for Dak, right?
Well, yeah, I would put him at I would just put him at 290.
Well, with theirs the way it goes, it's over 299.5 or over 274.5.
So I would go over the smaller number. 274.5. Because I'm really confident about that.
Okay, and then Taysom Hill, we can do over 219.5. 219.5 or 194.5.
Just go 194.5. And then in the game going over.
And the game going over, which is set at 46.5, you get plus 255.
Times 2.
Times 2, yep.
All right, so I'm going to do that for $10, Sean. So 255, that's 500, that's plus 510.
Plus 510, yep.
All right. That's one official play along with the over in the game, Sean.
Okay.
All right. So what are you going to do in this game? Nothing?
I'm playing Dallas on that boost, giving up 2.5 plus 100.
You know what? I'm going to play it too, even though I don't have a FanDuel account.
Okay. There you go.
All right. I'm double dipping, but if you can do it, I can do it. Anything
yeah, absolutely.
I can do too.
I mean, I would look probably, I think I saw earlier CD Lamb's number set at like 64.5 or something like that. I would think he goes over that.
I'm probably going to get Lattimore covering him, so that would make it a little bit difficult.
Yeah, but with him.
I would look at those secondary receivers like Michael Gallup or Cedric Wilson, because Dak does like to throw the ball around the field, and those guys usually get man-to-man coverage, and he'll throw it to. One thing I would look for tonight is in his press conference after the last game, Dak said he plans on going deep because the way refs are calling pass interference. So he usually targets the open guy. I think you might see a few forced throws deep tonight. Maybe those will result in some pass interference calls or maybe some interceptions.
Yeah, well, in either case, that will help your total if he's pushing the issue like that.
For sure. All right, NBA. Sean, last night, 1-1 for me. I hit the over and I missed the under, which has kind of been the antithesis of the way the season's going. But I noticed that maybe the trend is starting to change a little bit, Sean, in that a lot of the games went over last night. So maybe the come around is coming in the NBA in terms of which side of the totals to be on. Tonight, there's about a handful of games. Any in here that you like?
Yeah, so I'm going to go the Bucks. It was at 5. Now I'm seeing 4.5 on FanDuel. Giving up the points to Toronto here.
You're scaring me.
Because you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I
don't know if it should scare me. I think it should scare you. Because you know what's going to happen. Here's what you should do. Everybody, bet the Bucks in the first half. They'll cover, and then they'll just crumble in the second half. Absolute lock to win. And
we really should just come back live and have Rich's and
my meltdown
on TV. Yeah, there you go.
Make for good for a great viral video.
Yeah, when you break a TV, we get enough viewers, you can buy another one. So I'm taking the Bucks. I know they played yesterday.
I got like 2 extra TVs in my house. I just need to find a cord to plug one in. I don't know what the hell happened to the cord. I have a TV, but no. Funny, I have like 2 40-inch TV monitors. They're screens, right? They're nice. I gave one to my grandmother. She never watched it. So it's a beautiful Sony TV. I can't find 2 things. I can't find the remote and I can't find the cord to plug it in. So it's just ornament. Anyway.
Wow. Nice.
So you like the Bucks? Yeah,
Toronto's struggling. And I mean, if Gary Trent don't play, that's another score that they're not going to have. So I'm confident in the Bucks tonight.
Well, then the sad thing for you, Sean, is I'm confident in them too.
Yeah, I mean,
so are you, Drew? When you say you're doing it too, what are you doing? Are you doing the? Because when all 3 of us agree, it almost always hits. Are you doing the FanDuel thing, or are you doing the Bucks? Yeah, so I was just what I was bringing up. When I was saying the same thing. So what are we betting on? That's the same is what I want to know. The Cowboys minus 2.5. Is that what we're doing?
Probably.
All right. So
I don't know if it's 4.5.
Are we doing both of them? Let's see if we can.
Yeah. I don't know if it's 4.5 or 5, but like I said, I've seen FanDuel drop to 4.5. Yeah. So I'll take the 4.5. Yeah, he's doing the Cowboys minus 2.5. So we're all on it.
We're all on it. So you want to do the Bucks too, Drew? That should be a good one. I like the Bucks too, Sean. So we're both on it. Minus 4.5 we can actually get minus 105 for that, which is kind of crazy. That scares me because that's like the square sucker bet, just hitting you right and I in the he says, what the hell? He's going to be watching with us too.
He doesn't sound too confident on that one now.
I got the old what the hell. So today, Sean and Terry and I were talking on the show. I said for charity, I'd be willing. You know how these jockeys are getting busted for the buzzers?
Uh-huh.
So I said I'd be willing to have a jockey take a buzzer and hit me with the buzzer. And for every second that I'm in there, we'll donate some money to charity. For every second I'm in there, you sponsor me for $1. So if I can handle it for a minute, it would be $60, right?
Yeah.
So then I was saying something about that. And I said, getting kicked in the shin or getting kicked a little higher. And he said, well, I would rather get kicked in the shin because he thought I was saying kicking the ass. I'm like, no, Terry, the other side. I said, so here's what we'll do for charity for Terry. So maybe Sean will take it up. I'll do the buzzer challenge. Sean can do the kick challenge. $5 for every kick to the knee for Sean, or $10 for every kick to the groin.
And I have a soon-to-be 4-year-old that can do the kicks. I mean, and they hurt. Trust me.
So are you willing to do it? Do you take a kick?
Leave Blake kick me? Sure, he does it anyway.
No, I'm talking about
Oh no! No, that happens by mistake. I'm not gonna just stand up here and leave him do it on purpose.
No, that's the charitable thing about it, John. You know what I'm saying? We'll video it. That'd be funny as hell. So I'm getting buzzed on the ground. Are we doing this simultaneously too? While Blake is kicking Sean in the private parts. Wait. No worried about brothers or sisters then. But anyway, we're way off track. All right, who else do you like in the NBA?
I'm going to go the Knicks at home here against the Bulls, plus 108.
Are you just gonna you're money lining them?
I'm money lining them, yeah. Knicks are starting to play a little bit better offensively again, so I'll ride the train while they're doing it.
You're gonna get plus 110.
+110. Yeah. They're starting to come around offensively again. So them at home against the Bulls. The Bulls don't play much defense. They score. So I'll go with the Knicks defense and the Knicks offense.
Yeah, the Bulls. It seems like they do well against the teams that aren't so good, and then they smoke the teams. They struggle with teams that are okay. So I put the Knicks in the okay column. Any other plays, or is that it for you?
That is it for me.
I'm gonna take the total in the San Antonio-Portland game. I know that overs aren't the way to go, Sean, but Portland seemed to handle the absence of Dame Dollar fairly easily in the last game. So they still moved the ball. They still were able to score. San Antonio can score too. So I feel like that's a game at 216 and 216.5 for a half point. I'll probably shoot myself when the game ends at 216, but I'll take 216.5 for -110 and play the over there, Sean. So I have them scoring closer to 200 in the 230s combining for. So hopefully I have a lot of wiggle room in that game. Finally, Sean, there is some not a whole lot of NCAA basketball tonight, and really not a lot of marquee matchups. Do you see anybody in college hoops that you like tonight?
No, I keep looking at this, looking for something to play, and I'm not really confident.
I got something for you to fade. That's for sure.
Okay, what do you got?
Because I mean, I think I've lost like 7 straight college basketball games. So it's either the gambler's fallacy comes true tonight, and that's I'm due, or it's going to be 8 straight. And I would probably fade the hell out of this. But Lipscomb versus Belmont. I'm going to take Lipscomb to the half. It's a 15-point game for the full game. I'm getting 8.5 points to halftime, Sean. Lipscomb actually has a pretty good offense, and Belmont can't play defense. So I expect this to be, and on the other side, Belmont has a very good offense. So I think both teams are going to go up and down the court, and they're going to score a lot. And I would be inclined, too, if Lipscomb covers the first half, to think about taking him in the second half, like taking that money and pressing that bet.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know how exactly that would pan out in terms of odds. We can't do that right now, but that was something I would absolutely think about doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, like you said, there's not a lot of marquee ones, and usually I can play something on these others, but nothing's jumping off the page for me.
Yeah, I'm just a straight fade in college basketball.
Did you see there was a college football game that got mixed in with the college basketball game yesterday?
Was there?
I think it was Washington State and Arizona State, and the
score like 14-7 or something.
It was 51-28 or something as the final.
Nice.
Yeah, I literally thought it was just the first half, and you know how sometimes ESPN or something will say final, but it really just the second half. No, that was the end result, 51-28, something along those lines. It was.
I'm 100% confident I can assemble 5 guys that can score 28 points.
You would think.
No question about it. I have absolutely zero doubt about it.
In a 40-minute game.
Absolutely. What's crazy last night, I was watching a pro basketball game, and the team had 11 points with like a minute left to go in the quarter. They hit like 2 threes to save the quarter. But how does that professional NBA team have 11 points in 10 minutes of play? I mean, that's just, like I said, some of this NBA is becoming unwatchable. If they're not careful, they're going to end up like they were when I was a kid. They're going to be on videotape played after Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
that's how they used to play the games, on tape delay when I was a kid. The NBA wasn't popular, and they keep shooting threes, and teams keep shooting 26, 28, 30% from the field, and there's not a lot of highlights, if you will, the dunks and the athleticism. Then I think the game can become less and less popular, especially you have a lot of the they've already in some respects alienated a lot of the country. So if they annihilate the fans that they have left, not because they're alienating, because it's just unwatchable.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, and this actually brings up Sunday. I want to bring this up Monday. Like Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if anybody caught this, but the camera went to him after the game ended, and he looked serious. And then all of a sudden, he sees one of his boys, and he's all smiles. That's NBA does that too. It's so frustrating.
That doesn't bother me. I mean, if I grew up with a kid and he was a friend of mine and he's part of my, my crew, or I play college ball with him or something like that, and I see him out, I'm going to say hi to him. I'm not going to hold it against him personally, but I'm.
Yeah, we didn't go up to him all smiling and stuff after you lose our heart. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. A good friend of mine. Yeah. I mean, if it's a good friend, I would be. I mean, I'm not going to.
I had I had good friends. We needed about a hour after the game was over, even just a playground game.
I know,
to...
fucking marbles, man. That's a lot to get angry over.
No.
Look, so you're turning red because I got you.
No.
Or are you playing Pokemon? I know marbles is probably a little too young.
No, I've never been into anything like that. Pokemon, none of that stuff.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to play that.
Like I said, if I saw a friend of mine, I'd want to go over and say hi, give him a hug. But it doesn't mean I still wouldn't be pissed off if we lost, because I have a high enough EQ that I could separate the two, at least for 3 minutes. But I can't separate losing college basketball games. I'm furious. Sean.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I get furious. So I don't know. That anger problem mounts sometimes. All right, Sean and I will be back tonight at 9:30 Eastern over at Horse Racing Radar TV. I don't think we have a guest tonight, so we don't need a guest.
No, I struck out. We had a couple, but they all have different things. So
back to his high school dating life. That's okay. But we have me, Sean, Terry, Tom. We're going to hammer out a pick 4 at Gulfstream Park for Saturday afternoon. They have the Sunshine Millions kind of prep races, so it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we can hit a nice one. And I would expect Tom will have some really nice long shots for us in there. And hopefully between the 4 of us, we can put together a nice winning ticket for those who like horse racing. Again, Horse Racing Radar TV. That's the URL on YouTube. Sean and I won't be back at this time tomorrow. Instead, we'll be back at 10:30 Eastern time to go through Week 13's NFL slate.
Yeah, only a few more weeks of those. Wow.
And then we'll be in the playoffs, Sean.
Yeah. And then baseball just went on lockout today, too. So, not that it really matters right now, but
they'll be back by the time the season starts. I heard them on the radio, the owners and everybody, they just want to come to an agreement. And anyway, Sean, so we'll be back in a little more than 24 hours to talk about NFL. In the meantime, if you like what you saw, please hit us up at moneylinemadman.com. You can register for free. Sean posts all of our picks there. We'll be adding the quarterback props like we do. We're looking to add more stuff. It's just a matter of time. And then secondarily, we'll go over to Moneyline Madman on Facebook or Twitter. Like us there, follow us there. We'd appreciate that. And of course, if you like what we do, tell your friends about us, no matter how it is you communicate, because we hope that either by fading us, like you should be fading me right now, or by playing us, we help stuff your pockets full of cash. Anything else before we get up and out of here, Sean?
No, that's it. We're going to have a rebound tonight. So,
gambler's fallacy, my friend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you're right that we rebound and that every one of our picks tonight, damn it, every single one ends up in the winner's circle so that I don't have to end up being on 911 watch. All right, Sean, you have a great night. Everybody have a fantastic Thursday. And then let's go Cowboys, win by 3 and Milwaukee so that Sean, Drew, and myself can remain undefeated.
And if Dallas isn't winning, you can see Rich's meltdown at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Horse Racing Radar TV.
Oh, yes. I'll pull it together then, a little ambient or something. I don't know. All right, Sean, have a great night.